Well, I don't have booze tonight, but I will still say cheers, everybody.
I got the Stanley.
Oh, you got the Stanley. Basic.
Who knows what's in that Stanley either?
Yeah.
Water.
Water. He's doing the
Wa-
good thing tonight.
Yeah,
Good for
actually.
him. Good on you. Good on you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the NBA Happy Hour, where we're going to do our full-on season preview episode. So we are recording this on Thursday night. It'll go live on Monday, obviously, because I don't want to get in the way of Red Bick Recap. But if you're on YouTube, you can catch it early. So thanks for hanging out with us. We're excited. It is that time of the year. I am jonesing, man. I am jonesing. We got Pat in the building. Pat is here with us tonight. What up, Pat? How are you? Good to see you. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with our favorite overs and unders from each conference to start the show. As far as win totals. So sheep. Who should we start with? Parker, should we start with you with your favorite Eastern Conference win total?
The over for the first part?
Yeah.
All right. My favorite Eastern Conference win total over is the Atlanta Hawks at 36.5. Honestly. It's 33.5 on one sports book, but that's at minus 220 odds. That's not legit. So at actual good odds, you have it at 35.5, 36.5. I like it at 36.5 even. The reason I like this, honestly, is because the East is a dumpster fire. The 6 teams below them, there's no way, they got a good roster. I think they're going to be better without DeJounte Murray and Trey with that weird dynamic. I think if they just run everything through Trey and make him the most high usage player of all time, they're not going to be good, but they'll be better in the regular season, I think. And also, I just think, like I said, who is going to be that in the play-in in the East? You got the Hornets, the Bulls, the Wizards, the Raptors, the Nets. Am I missing anybody else of those terrible?
It might be the Hornets.
One of those 5 teams is making the play-in at the 10 seed.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
What I'm saying is the Hawks, I think, just by default are going to get to 36 or 37 wins, 36.5. I think they're going to get there by default.
Yeah, I think
and that's where they've been hovering around the last couple of years anyways. They've went over, I think, 2 years ago. Last year, I think they won 36, if I remember correctly. Exactly.
Yeah. I like that pick, honestly. I do. Because I think that they've made some moves I really like. I think Larry Nance is gonna be a really nice depth piece for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be a really good get for them. I think that I don't love Reese's Shea still, but he has looked good in the preseason. So he's kind of been a little bit promising. And so I think that's going to be something that's going to work out for them. But I definitely think you're right, just because of all those teams they got to play on the bottom. So I think that's a really good pick. All right, so I'm going next here, and
I wanted to mention real quick too before another reason Versillo talked about this. Did you watch their over under preview?
Yeah,
I was watching theirs, and he made a good point about this. Or not, Versillo didn't say it. Simmons said it. They have 7, 6, 9 wings that can defend and shoot threes. And that's what the NBA looks for today. Legitimately, they have 7 of those guys. So I just like their versatility. I think in a terrible Eastern Conference, they can get to 37 wins.
Yeah, I do too. So all right, so Parker going, his favorite over is the Atlanta Hawks. I like it. Do you want to go and do favorite under, or do we want to do overs first and we'll go to unders? How do you want to do this?
You want to just rotate, you go, you're over now, just one at a time?
Yeah, absolutely. So my favorite over, depending what sportsbook you look at, is between 47 and 48.5. Right now on FanDuel, over is at 47.5 in the East. I think it's the Orlando Magic. I realistically think that if you see the trajectory they've been on these last few years, they win more and more and more every year. Paolo's become an established player. I think Franz is definitely going to rebound after his rough finish to last season. I love them getting KCP. It seems like they're kind of figuring out more and more guys like Anthony Black and what they bring to the team. I'm not in love with Wendell Carter, but I think Wendell Carter's a really good fit for this team particularly. And if they get anything for Jonathan Isaac, it's a bonus compared to what all those guys have done. So I just think Jamal Mosley's a good coach too. And I think that their division, the teams that are going to be playing the most, Miami, Atlanta, teams like that, I don't think any of them, they're worse than any of those teams. So I think the Magic are a good 50-win team this year.
I like that.
I like that. That's a good one. My favorite over for the East right now, I'm actually going to go with the Indiana Pacers. I think they've added some nice pieces to this team. Pascal Siakam, I think is he got his feet wet last year with a couple things. I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to probably be an MVP candidate. I mean, he's phenomenal. I love that dude. Eastern Conference is, like you guys said, it's so up in the air. I mean, you do have not with with the exception of like the Boston Celtics, obviously, and maybe Philly, but like and maybe the Bucks. But those guys, I feel like they're always just so up or down. It's always going to be one of those three, but I'm always worried about Philly's health. Always worried about
and
Philly,
it's already clicking. It's already happening.
Yeah,
it's already happening. So, but I think the Pacers are just going to have a decent season as long as Halliburton stays healthy. I think they're a team to kind of watch this year. I'm very excited to actually watch them when they're not blacked out in my area, which is always
yeah, literally. You gotta stream East that.
Yeah, I did that for the Cavs the other night. It was very frustrating. I like that. And Sean, I'm going to tell you one of the things I do really like about this. I think James Wiseman's going to be good for the Pacers. This is my last time I'm going to say this.
Dude, you are the only person who still
Tim is
has
not
any
giving
stock
up
on Wiseman Island.
Yeah, I built a neighborhood at this point. We got
Tim. We've talked about this before. I was on the island. We had houses right next to each other until after last year. Now I've given up. I thought the Pistons he was gonna do something, so I've given up now.
But here's my reason.
Okay, go for it.
I knew he had Steve Kerr for a little while, but he was hurt. He didn't fit in at that point because they had Kevon Looney. So there was that whole thing. He goes to Detroit and it's a cluster. It's a mess. There's just nothing there that works, right? Like Monty was a nightmare coaching there. I can't even remember who was the coach for Monty, but that didn't work out either. He actually looked really good when they got him at the trade deadline. But he's going to a Rick Carlisle offense where he's a roll man and he's going to be diving to the rim.
Yeah.
This is the least he's going to be asked to do on any of the teams he's played on before. So I think he's going to be a comfortable fit with what he's going to be needed to do for the Pacers because he's got Miles Turner ahead of him. So he knows he's not going to be playing 25, 26 minutes. He's probably going to play 13, 14. He has looked pretty solid in preseason so far. It's just like being in the dunker spot and being there to catch the ball. He has a really good point guard that's a pass first point guard. I love Steph. We know how much I love Steph. But Steph obviously is not a pass first point guard, though he is a great passer. And he's got Halliburton who's going to get him the ball in wherever he wants to be the most comfortable. So I'm not saying, most improved player, all-star, all defense, James Wiseman, but I think he's going to carve out a really good role for this team. And you saw, he's pretty comparable. He's not as good, but I think he's comparable to Jalen Smith. And you saw what Jalen Smith did there, and he just got a big contract from the Bulls.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that's a logical way to take it. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Tim. I'm with you on that one.
The only thing
ask me again in December.
The only thing I'll say, like a case, the only thing I could see them going under, honestly, is Halliburton's health. He just hasn't shown yet that he can play more than 60 games. So as long as he plays 60 games, they'll go over. That's what I'll say. Yeah. But Siakam definitely helps that when he's out. But that's the only thing is he just hasn't shown the ability to fully stay healthy yet in a season, like all year. He played he was not himself the second half of last season whatsoever because they got off to that super hot start. He was looking like, top 3 MVP candidate, and then he just wasn't the same player.
Yeah, I agree. I obviously couldn't do it because I have to do it on a whole other show, but I think the Cavs are going to win 50 games this year too. I think their roster is really, really good. And Kenny Atkins is the perfect coach for them.
That was my Eastern Conference favorite, but I didn't do that because you're doing a show on them, so you're already going to be previewing all that and everything. So, but that was my favorite in the East.
Yeah, their bet right now on FanDuel to get the 1 seed is pretty decent. So plus 1,200 odds. I'd be willing to bet that.
I think this is the year I always forget. I'm going to actually place a bunch of futures this year because I feel like it'd be fun to root for that all year long. And then, it'd be nice to, oh, here's an extra $100 in a few, like 6 months later or something. Like, that'd be cool.
Oh man, well, my Liberty bet was scaring me until the last 5 seconds last night. So
yeah, what a shot!
Still alive. Just need one more. So
exactly.
All right, let's see here. Parker, let's start with you on your favorite Eastern Conference under.
Oh, under for the East? Yeah, this one is kind of risky. I'm not gonna lie, but I do like it a lot still. I'm going with the Hornets at under 30.5. I just don't see them winning 31 games. I know everybody loves their coach. What's his name? Charles Lee.
Yeah, Charles Lee, yeah.
Yeah. But the Celtics apparently love him. Like that guy, they were upset about losing. So apparently, he's a good up-and-coming coach. But my main thing is, if LaMelo plays 70 games, they probably will get to 31 wins. I don't see LaMelo playing 70 games.
I agree.
I just don't see him playing 70 games. I think I would like this over a lot more too if they came out and were like, Brandon Miller's the focal point of this team. Like but they're gonna run everything through LaMelo still. I like LaMelo a lot as a player because obviously I grew up in the generation where like it's a little younger than me generation for like he's like every like 17-year-old's favorite player, but still I grew up in the generation being like around the same age as him, seeing his mixtapes and stuff. And but I just don't see him as a winning player at this point in his career yet. He's still super young. I think he's still 22, so he's still super young. I just think the line's too high. I mean, Grant Williams and Seth Curry, veteran presence, sure. Like it's a little more adults in the locker room, I guess, but like
barely.
I just don't. I don't see them get the.
I don't know if I'd call Grant Williams an adult, considering he walked in the Celtics locker room
and you can get it's 31.5 on FanDuel right now.
Yeah.
It's 31.5. Every other sportsbook has it at 30.5. It's 31.5 for minus 108. So that's good odds there too, like for the under. So I don't see them getting to 32 wins because we'll just base off FanDuel because I feel like that's the most popular sportsbook. So
that's
32 wins is not happening.
I
could be so wrong though. But the only thing I did want to mention, the only other thing that scares me is, like I said, one of those 5 teams is making the play-in. And it's probably going to be the Hornets or the Raptors. It's probably going to be the Hornets or the Raptors. And we might see a 30-win play-in team this year, seriously.
Well, as long as you score 66 in the first round, then you're the GOAT with that, so.
Yeah, like we could see this should be the year like they might be like, damn, the play-in maybe should just be an 8-9 thing for the 8 seed because in the East it's going to be rough this year. It's been good in the West. The East has not been great to play.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, my favorite under, I'm going to go a little bit above the Hornets here, is the Milwaukee Bucks at 49.5 because...
Yeah, I didn't have the balls to do that one. That was on my list of 3. I had a list of 3 for each.
At this point, what we saw last year did not make you feel very good about anything with them. And I understand Dame was going through a rough year personally, but I don't know where I have Dame Lillard and the patriarch of NBA basketball players anymore. I still think he's elite, obviously, but I do think he's been passed up a little more. I don't know how many games we're going to get from Giannis anymore. Just because we're seeing that stretch quite a bit now where it's becoming clockwork that he's getting hurt in the right before the playoffs. And then, as I've said a million times, I don't trust Doc Rivers. I really don't. I just don't. I never have.
Especially at this point. He used to be a little bit better.
Yeah. And so I just don't have faith. I still think they're a playoff team, but realistically right now, I mean, if you're thinking of the 4 East teams that are going to have home court advantage, you can give me a case for Boston, for Philly, for New York, for Cleveland, for Orlando, and
Indiana,
and Milwaukee.
And I'm not going to lie, I didn't mention this. This was my second East team. I think the Heat are going to be much better in the regular season this year. Jimmy looks like he's taking shit seriously. I know it's preseason, but he had 26 the other night, I believe, in 21 minutes or something. Like, Jimmy Butler's actually played in the preseason. That never happens. Like, he wants that extension because they didn't give it to him this offseason. They want him to they want him to play more than 55 games. And I think that kind of lit a fire under his ass. So I think I wouldn't be shocked if the Heat win 50 games this year. I would not be like completely like I would be shocked, but I wouldn't be thrown off super hard if the Heat ended up actually being a good team again. And Bam's one of my favorite guys in the league. I think Bam is awesome.
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but I think he's going to be the guy who played on the Olympic team that's going to have his breakout year.
Yeah,
I think
I
he's
agree with
like,
that.
you think he's going to be the starting center in the East. I think he's going to be for the All-Star game. I think he's going to have potential first team All-NBA. I think he's going to be awesome this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think there's the Heat have a case to, be a top 4 seed too. Like, but the thing is with these over-unders, they're likely all going to be really close. So like the Bucks could win 48 or 49 games and be the 4 seed still. Like that could definitely happen. Because the East last year was just a cluster of 3 through 8 or 2 through 8. They were literally all around within like 4 games of each other, 2 through 8 outside the Celtics. So that could definitely happen again.
Pat says I need to get some new big baller gear.
They still sell that. LiAngelo's the headliner because LaMelo and Lonzo are not signed with them anymore. So
yeah, I saw he was wearing Nike the other night, so I was like, look at that, that's nice.
Yeah, shout out Lonzo Ball, by the way. That was awesome.
Yeah,
dude, so awesome,
very awesome,
so awesome. All right,
He looked good.
He did look good.
Yep.
He looked way better than Josh Giddey for sure. So, Sean, who is your favorite under for the East?
Favorite under? Well, my favorite under was the team that Parker picked, but he stole that from me. So I'm gonna go a little deeper, but further north. I'm taking the Toronto Raptors, who are
they're gonna stink.
Yeah, they're gonna stink. They're at 29.5 wins. Let's talk about this team. Let's just look at the roster.
That's what Simmons said. Yeah,
like Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick, Davion Mitchell, R.J. Barrett. He's gonna put up buckets. No lie.
Yeah.
Manuel Quickley, Bruce Brown Jr. Bruce Brown Jr. is a guy that you put on a glue. He's like a glue guy, like on a good team, but like he doesn't make any sense on this roster at all.
No.
Jacob Pirtle, like I don't. Yeah. What is going on with this roster?
They will have the best Cities jersey this year, but other than that, it's going to be a nightmare.
Sean, you want to know something crazy about this team? They're paying $135 million between Jakob Pirtle, Scotty Barnes, Bruce Brown Jr., Emmanuel Quickley. And then if you add RJ Barrett, that was with RJ Barrett for this season. And then if you add Scotty's like extension, Supermax kicking in next year, it's $185 million that they owe to those 5 guys.
Well, and there's
no
way
payroll for a terrible team.
Terrible team, but they were all guys that had all those dudes had high ceilings, all of them. And and I like Scotty Barnes.
I was gonna say I love Scotty as like a 2 or 3 option on a good team. He's not a number 1.
He is not a number 1, and we are back to old school Toronto Raptors days where this is just a franchise that isn't going to make any waves unless they win the lottery. Let's be honest. No one's going to go there. When Kawhi Leonard goes there, wins a title, and then leaves, I mean, nobody wants to play there. It's such a sad franchise. I'm glad they do have a championship. I think that's fucking awesome. But like at the same time, I'm like, how with that payroll, how do you dig yourself out of that? Who's gonna want Emmanuel Quickley? Who's gonna want you say
for that price? Yeah.
I mean, like, who's gonna want those guys?
Jakob Pirtle makes 20 a year, 20 million a year.
Unbelievable.
It's like they have a bunch of really good players that would be good on good teams, but they're just like on this type of team. Like they have a professional basketball roster. Like they're not going out there and you're like because we all know who these guys are. You know what I mean? Because they've all been on good teams before. Like Scotty early in his career was on playoff Raptors team. Like RJ Barrett played in playoff series quickly. Pirtle. Like all these guys have been on good teams. It's just they were the 5th option on good teams, and now they're all number 1 options like Quickley, Barrett, and Barnes. Like they all 3 might score 20 a game, but they're going to be bad.
Your points on why you don't like the Raptors win total is actually my points on why I like the Nets win total.
That's why I like the Nets too.
I mean, it's only 19.5, and they've got Dennis Schroeder, Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton. Like they have good players.
Ben Simmons looks good
for now.
Really good. Really good.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're not going to pick in the top 4, but I do think that they're going to be that eight. I think 18.5 is easy money. I really do think it's easy
I do
money.
Oh
too.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Should we go to the West, or Sean, do you have any other points you want to after Toronto?
No, Toronto's gonna suck.
You didn't mention Cam Thomas is going to put up 30. I said before the podcast. I think I said before.
Yeah,
Yeah, he might put up 27 points this year.
he might.
What did Rusilla say the other day on the win total drafting in the first round of your fantasy basketball draft?
Yeah, he said that. And then I wanted to mention they said Simmons asked Russillo, is there a worse play in the NBA than 40 seconds left in the game down to Scotty Barnes ISO? Scotty Barnes is a good player, but he's not an isolation get a bucket guy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Bevan Mobley's finally going to pass him up this year. Mobley looks really good.
Yeah. We've been waiting on this for literally since
3
they were
years.
drafted that Mobley would be better, but
Yep.
it hasn't happened yet.
Other underrated picks on the East real quick before we get out of here, before we move to the West. I do want to mention, I think the Pistons are going to be better. I think that the adults they added, unlike the adults that Charlotte added, are actually adults.
Yeah, like Tobias is a good
Tobias
pickup
Harris.
for them.
Yeah. Tim Hardaway Jr. I think is a nice get for them.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of team that JB Bickerstaff needs to be coaching. This is
I
his
was going to make that exact point. Like this is a perfect team for him. And from what they came to from last season, which was probably one of the worst disasters. How much they paying Monty for the next 5 years?
80?
Like that's insane to me.
Well,
That
yeah,
is-
what, 64 then?
How
Or was it a 6 year?
how detrimental do you have to be to a basketball organization to be cut and then have that many years left and that much money on your contract? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Sean.
All right, to the West.
I got one kind of controversial, but
I did too. All right. Where you want to start? You want to start with you again?
yeah. I was going back and forth on this because I had two teams. I'm going with the Suns at 48.5 for pretty much even odds on FanDuel. It's 47.5 on other books, but it's like minus 140. So I like it at 48.5 for minus 108 better. I like this team this year. I do. I think Bradley Beal's a bonus too. Like if he doesn't even play, I still think they can win 49 games. Like if Bradley Beal only plays 40 games, I still think they can get to 49 wins. I mean, Grayson Allen was awesome. Grayson Allen was the bright spot of that team last year because Booker and Durant did what they did, but you weren't expecting Grayson Allen to be that damn good last year. And I mean, the addition of Tyus Jones just being a point guard, it's going to help them so much. Devin Booker, in my opinion, is still the best two guard in the NBA. When he plays two guard, when he's not playing point guard, and you kind of saw that in the Olympics. I love Ant, but Ant was kind of the Cam Thomas of the Olympic team. Like he was just the shot chucker when he came in, and Booker was the more well-rounded player. And I just think Devin Booker being off the ball, like Devin Booker has first team All-NBA potential this year. I truly believe that. I truly believe he might average 28, 29, 30, and just have a really, really good season. Because you know damn well Durant's going to miss 20 games. He will.
Yeah.
You know Bradley Beal will likely miss 20 to 25 games as well. And I just think Booker's going to be able to carry this team. And I just think they had a lot of underrated moves in the offseason. I still hate their center position. I still hate Nurkic. I just don't think it fits the team. He's a great rebounder, but I don't like him unless you're playing the Thunder, who just can't rebound. But overall, I just think that there's no way they're going to be as bad as they were last year. And I believe they won 48 last year, so you need one extra win, and I think they're going to get it. Yeah. I think they might be – they're my favorite long shot, to win the conference in any conference. I don't think they're going to win the conference, but I don't mind it for a long shot bet.
Yeah, I think getting Bud is going to be a really nice get for them as well.
I didn't even mention Budenholzer. That's the biggest pickup probably, honestly.
Yeah. Sean, you want to go next? You want me to go?
Because I did want to mention, too, because Frank Vogel was their coach before, and Frank Vogel's a very good coach. Don't get me wrong.
I love Frank.
But it didn't fit their players. They were never going to be good at defense. They were never going to be good at defense. So you need to go all in with just being a really good offensive team, and they weren't a good offensive team last year. And I think Budenholzer will unlock the offensive side of the ball a lot. And shout out Bull as well.
You know, I love me some Bull.
2K God.
Yeah.
God.
All right. Sean, you want to roll? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll roll. I'm gonna go an over with the Houston Rockets. I know it seems risky, but I'm gonna do it because they're one of my favorite, probably league pass teams this year. I'm gonna be watching.
They're on the list.
Some Houston Rockets. I think Reed Shepherd is gonna be better than advertised. I do. I really do think he is going to be better than advertised.
He's my rookie.
They have a good coach. Yeah. You know, they have a good coach in place. I think they're another year older. I know that's an easy thing to say. It's a cop-out thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. With this roster, and it's interesting, they have Jalen Green. That dude's going to just make buckets this year. Sengun, you know, I'm always going to be a Sengun stan here. I love that guy. I think he's completely underrated, and I think he's going to take a step forward this year. They got Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, Jabari Smith's going to be a year older. I just think this team's going to be a lot of fun, and I think they're going to get a little bit more than 42.5 wins. I could see them getting up there and maybe getting, 46.
I agree. I think this is easy money. I think this is a really easy money pick. I really do.
I really do too. And their floor, in my opinion, is like 40, but their ceiling's only like 48. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to win right around 45 games, but like, I think it's pretty safe they're going to get to 45 wins around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right. Well, I have to give my favorite over. Whatever. I'm going to do it. I'm taking the Lakers 42.5. I think it's look. They won
way over the last 2 years.
Yeah, they won 47 last year
and 46 the year before.
They didn't have a good coach for offense, and now they have a coach. Like, if you've watched the Lakers preseason so far, which I know they've only won one game, but I don't care about that.
It's the bench that sells them. They're when their rookies are in, they get wrecked. When Bronny and the crew's in, they get wrecked.
But shout out Quincy Oliveri, by the way, my dog. So they run actual offense. That horn set they've been running with like the high screens and stuff like that looks great. D'Angelo Russell, I think, is going to thrive. However long he's on the Lakers, I don't think he'll be there in February. Which is another reason I'm taking the over, because the team's going to look way different come February.
Yeah, when Zach LaVine's playing for him,
and that's going to help them.
They might.
It will help them.
Yeah, will for sure help them.
Reeves could play the point for sure if they got
everyone's like
alone.
Doing this thing where they're like, well, LeBron's going to miss 20, 25 games. Like, not anymore. He wants all NBA still. He wants to get in that conversation. So he's going to miss he missed 11 last year. What we saw from those two in the Olympics has to be more reassuring than anything, that they still can be wreck teams. I really think that we are really underselling the Lakers. Do I think they're going to win the title? No. Do I think they're going to get to the conference finals? No. Do I think they can win a round?
Yeah.
I do.
And I think if it went their way, they could get to the conference finals. Like, if they got a good matchup, because we talked about last year, we would have rather faced the Thunder than the Nuggets any day of the week, even though they were considered just as good of teams, like the same. But it was just like, it's just a bad matchup for the Thunder because they don't have size. I mean, Hartenstein helps, but
he's hurt.
My thing with that too that you didn't mention, I think Anthony Davis wants to prove he's a top 5 to 6 player on the planet this season.
I do too,
and I think
he is.
Yeah, he is, seriously. And if you're watching him in the preseason, he looks like old Anthony Davis with some of the step back fadeaways he's doing in the high post. Like, JJ Redick seems like they've been saying this since LeBron got there, that Anthony Davis was going to take over as the number one option. JJ Redick looks like he's actually running the offense through Anthony Davis, which is what they need to do, because in the playoffs, LeBron will be much better off and less tired if Anthony Davis takes a bigger load offensively in the regular season.
As long as he doesn't get hurt. That's the other thing.
As long as he doesn't get hurt.
You give him more of a load, I've seen him roll his ankle so many times over the years in just like a random Tuesday.
Last year, though, he was doing it still. He just played through it.
Yeah, he did. He got up quite a few times last season.
Yeah, no, he did.
God. I was like, oh no, here we go. I knew it. And then like he'd go back, and then he'd be back like 5 or 10 minutes later. I was like, okay, all right, which is improvement from him.
Yeah, and I will say
games.
his injury like history, it does get blown out of proportion a little bit because when you talk about him, people talk about him, they act like he misses like 60 games.
He doesn't.
He misses like 20 to 25, which is the same Jimmy Butler misses. It's the same Steph Curry's been missing for the last
You're right.
6 years. And he's never had a serious injury. Knock on wood. But I'm just saying, like, it does get blown out.
Thanks for putting that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Kawhi is street clothes. He should be street clothes, not Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I do laugh at Anthony Davis. That was a fun.
That was street clothes was hilarious when Chuck would say it, but it's just like it's not as true as like because like people that don't watch the NBA and look at stats like that, you would think Anthony Davis like has a season-ending injury every year and misses like 60 games.
Right.
Like if you read Instagram comments, you would think he misses so much time.
Can I just go ahead and I know we've had you go first, but can I go ahead and just start with the under?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's in the same city. It's the Clippers. Even before the Kawhi Leonard news, I thought this way. And this isn't because I hate the Clippers, because I do hate the Clippers. But this roster sucks. All right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to read this to you guys real quick. So
James Harden, old school James Harden this year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the problem, Parker. Let me pull this up real quick because this roster.
No, they're kind of hilarious.
So, all right, you got Kawhi Leonard, who's already out. James Harden, who's going to be like, don't worry, guys, I got this. Kevin Porter Jr., Kai Jones, Derek Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, Bones Highland, Mo Bamba, Nick Batum, Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, Kobe Brown, Amir Coffey, Elijah Harkless, and Braxton Key. They're terrible.
Who is Braxton Key?
He played for the Nuggets last year and the Pistons.
And I'm an NBA junkie, and I don't know who that is. Seriously, I probably would know if I saw.
He went to Alabama and went to Virginia.
I don't know him either at all.
I'm gonna look him up.
He was undrafted in 2020. He sucks.
I've seen the face before, but I don't know who that is.
I mean, they've already sent PJ Tucker home. They're already like, don't worry about it, dude. Yeah. So, 37.5. And this, I thought this before the news came out today about Kawhi missing forever. Let's be honest. Don't put a date on it because it's a stupid thing to do.
It might be the whole season. It could be.
And something KOC pointed out today that cracked me up. If the Clippers end up getting a top 10 pick in this year's NBA draft, it goes to the Thunder.
Yeah, I know. So they have no incentive to be bad. They can't be bad.
Right. And they're going to be bad.
Yeah.
But hey, they get a cool new arena. There's that. So,
their arena's sick.
Yeah. Something about the Clips. So, Parker, like, I was laughing about this when I was putting this together because you growing up, the Clippers have been good most of your life. Like, competitive.
I mean, they've been good. They've been good pretty much since like the first 3 or 4 years I was watching basketball. Like besides then, like the end of like Elton Brand on the Clippers, I remember that a little bit. But besides that, like once CP3 got there in 2011. So since I've been 8 or 9, they've been good. Yeah. Like
Sean and I used to laugh at the Clippers. We used to be like, "Oh, the Bulls are playing the Clippers tonight. That's an easy win." Like,
yeah, they were like the Hornets. So.
we still laugh at the Clippers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
like, nothing's changed.
Good or bad. Like they even when they
made the conference finals.
They made the conference finals. I mean, I wasn't confident they were going to beat anybody. Come on.
Yeah.
They're the Clippers. They're going to do Clippers things.
So, yep, Clippers suck. Don't bet them to win any games.
I want to ask you both a question here real quick before we move on from the Clippers talk. So, I used to be a big fan of James Harden, like watching him play. But as he's gotten older, I'm not anymore. I used to like watching him play.
I never was, so.
Really? I did used to like James Harden in Houston.
You're literally talking to the world's greatest James Harden hater and Tim.
Oh yeah, like, I forgot.
It's like, yeah, I don't like him.
It's all right. I'm a Luka
underselling
hater,
it,
so.
Tim.
Luka's the modern day James Harden, pretty much. But
That's what James Harden says too.
I mean, I kind of agree, honestly. Houston James Harden was better than Luka is right now. I'm sorry. Houston James Harden was insane.
Oh, yeah.
But I did want to mention real quick, what do you think his stat line is going to be? Like, while Kawhi's out, at least. Is he going to average like 25 and 10?
I think he is.
I do too.
And he's going to shoot like 41% from the floor, 32% from three. He's going to have 8 or 9 free throws a game. And his box plus minus every night is going to be negative 15, 16, 17.
Yeah. And I will say, too, we obviously know if this team somehow got in the playoffs, they're obviously not going to do anything in the playoffs, obviously. I wanted to mention, though, would this be the worst thing for the entire league if they got off to like just like a 12-8 start with James Harden at 30? Like, do you know how like
it would be the worst thing for the league? It would be the worst thing for the Clippers. It's going to be the worst thing for it.
Like James Harden's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm still a top 5 player in the NBA. Like,
exactly.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
Now, do I still think he's a top 5 to 10 skilled basketball player in the world? Yes, he's so freaking skilled. But the moves he's not as shifty anymore. Like, it's just
no.
Is Norman Powell going to average 20? Probably.
Yeah. Is he going to have a choice?
I mean, Powell's averaged close to 20 for long stretches before. Yeah. So probably.
Yeah. And Trenton's there now too, which
he is there. But I liked Kevin Porter Jr. before everything happened. But I liked him.
We all did. Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
I thought he was a good player before that. So
yeah. All right, Parker, what do you got for your under?
This one I went really back and forth on, but I think I'm gonna lock it in. This one was hard for me. I don't really love any of the unders in the West. For some reason, they all look good besides the Clippers. I was on that. You took that one from me. So the other team I wrote down was the Spurs at 35.5.
Yeah.
I think that Chris Paul is going to make them better. I do. I definitely think that they're going to be better. Obviously, they only won, 21 games last year, I think? Something really – and that was like a blessing. Like, they played good down the stretch. They were right there with the Pistons most of the season. But I just think it's going to be tough for them to get to 36 wins in the Western Conference. The Western Conference is absolutely loaded, and I just think it's going to be really tough for them. Another one I wanted to mention that I do like the under on as well. I like the Mavericks under at 49.5.
I do too.
I don't think they're going to win 50 games this year. I don't. I think they're getting really overhyped after a good playoff run where their competition that would have beat them in 4 got eliminated. I think the Nuggets would have swept the Mavs. And I just think
absolutely
it was a fluke that the Nuggets, that Jamal Murray went ice cold and they blew a game 7 up 20 is what I think happened. And I think the Timberwolves just were a bad matchup. Like, the Mavs were a bad matchup for them. I think Gobert getting put in all those pick and rolls just screwed them. And I truly think the Mavs, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I just think they're going to be closer to that play-in Lakers, Kings zone, Rockets zone than people are talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to be hovering around the 6th seed most of the year because I think the Suns are going to step up into those top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I don't like them. I hate them defensively. Late in a game, Klay Thompson, Luka, and Kyrie late in a game on defense. Like, you can't play Klay late in games.
I was literally going to say, I think the Najee Marshall pickup is going to be better than the Klay Thompson pickup.
I agree. I 100% agree. I just don't think you can play Klay Thompson late in games. Is he starting?
Yeah, he's going to start.
At the 3. I hate that team defensively. Like, truly. Derrick Jones Jr. is an underrated loss. He was huge for them defensively.
Yeah.
I couldn't hit a shot in the Celtics series, but he was great defensively.
Now he'll be huge defensively for the Clippers.
Which nobody will care about.
Nope.
They got sick uniforms now and a sick arena.
Dude, I do like the new logo. It is nice.
I know.
We got Sydney's in the house. What up, Sid? How are you?
Also, I did want to mention real quick before we get off the Clippers completely. If James Harden wants to go full back to Houston, he's got to get
Harden was talking all about the Clippers today.
He's got to get the Mohawk because they're just funny.
They're terrible. They're so bad. All right, Sean, who's your under?
All right, this is going to be controversial. Actually, it's not. It's not going to be controversial. It's not. I'm taking the Golden State Warriors for under.
I think this is
We've
fair.
got, let's see. Yeah, I think let's see here. I just had
It's
him up
too
here.
high.
Yeah, I think we're at a point where this team they're at 43.5. Looking at the roster, everything, this team's cooked. Draymond is another. I mean, Steph's gonna get his points.
Yeah.
He's gonna win some games single-handedly. He's gonna have some games where he's not gonna play. You got Buddy Hield on this team now. Kuminga, Wiggins,
Kyle Anderson.
Yeah. So at Kyle Anderson, I don't. This team didn't really do anything to get better.
Yeah.
And West is good. I mean, the Lakers are going to be considerably better than the Warriors. Like, let's be honest. You know,
And they have a higher projection than the Lakers. The
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. I think the Lakers are going to be better than expected on this. I mean, when I laughed about that, it's just because you're a homer. And
yeah, that's why I didn't do it.
So yeah. We got a LeBron homer here, and we got a UK homer here. So I'm watching both of you. I know what you're all doing, but Warriors are gonna suck this year. I think that whole thing is just done, and they don't have anywhere to go from here either. Like they can't move anybody to get better or anything. I don't know what their draft pick situation is right now. I don't know if
they have their pick this year.
I don't think they even have their pick.
I don't think they do either. So I think it's just going to be chalked up as a loss this year for them. But 43.5, they're not going to do it.
I think we're going to get pretty early in the sense that obviously Steph and Draymond, those guys are going to play, but I think it's going to be pretty early in the year that we start seeing like the Pajemskis get minutes, like an increase in minutes, and the Kumingas and the Moses Moody's and all the young guys. I really think that. You know, Parker and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. If Steph declines a little bit, look, I'm wearing Steph's USA jersey right now, so I love Steph. If Steph declines a little bit, this team's a nightmare.
And he has been declining just a little bit each season the last two years. Like, don't get me wrong, big games, definitely still the same guy. But I'm talking about regular season, game in and game out basis. Like we've seen with LeBron, they're not affecting winning as much in terms of increasing bad play around them as they used to.
Yeah.
The impact isn't the same. They're still the same. They're still going to put up the same numbers and everything like that.
Sydney sure enough did confirm the Warriors do have their own pick this year, which right now, according to Tankathon, is going to be the end of the lottery.
Yeah.
It's going to be much higher than that.
Yep.
I did want to say about the Warriors too. They're kind of like a better Raptors in terms of like, what is this roster?
Yeah.
Like they're like a good version of the Raptors. Like if you take Steph Curry off that roster, what the hell is that roster?
Well, when him and LeBron do eventually end up playing together, like
it's going to happen. I feel like.
There's too much smoke. There's too much smoke.
And I think this is the year like the Curry trade talks really increase if they're just bad again.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to end his career never. Like, at least the Lakers are always in the playoffs. Curry hasn't made it 3 of his last 5 seasons. I know we got a title in there, but...
So, I'll say this before we move on to our next topic. For everything we say about, like, the Lakers have really failed LeBron, and they have. They for sure have.
They have.
If you look at, besides 2022, the Warriors have completely failed Steph Curry.
Agreed.
They have completely wasted...
Since Kevin Durant left, yeah.
Yeah, they have wasted any chance of him winning another MVP. They have wasted any chance of him getting another title. And it's not just like, I love Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr does a good job with what he has, but ever since Joe Lacob moved on, they have not really had anything that's been like, oh wow, the Warriors, like that's a really good move. Like I like Kyle Anderson, but I don't think Kyle Anderson is like, oh man, 6th seed.
Yeah, no.
They waited too long to move on from players. The loyalty, I feel like, really killed this franchise. Like Draymond should have been moved. I mean, Andrew Wiggins was great in 2022, but he hasn't been great. This is a team that just held on. Clay was washed for 2 or 3 years before he was actually, let go. And I think he's going to suck on the Mavericks. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I think we're going to see a steep decline with Klay Thompson.
I do too.
Like, I think the other night, I think he was like 0 for 9 or something like that. I mean, they should have moved on from him. I feel like they were just way too loyal to these guys. Steph Curry, you can be as loyal as you want. That guy got you where you needed to be.
Sure.
He's still going to put up 25 to 30 points a game for you. Still going to win games for you. It makes sense. He's still an elite basketball player.
Yeah,
But these other guys though, Draymond, like he's a year, like Draymond on the Lakers would be awesome. I think that would be awesome. Like a guy that big facilitating the offense and playing defense and everything. Like both of those guys, if you put Steph and Draymond, if you figured out a way to get both of them on the Lakers at the same time, it would be the most fun basketball team of all time, because it would be like two eras finally like getting together like in their last days, But what do you do with this team? You just let it run out. With either Steph just retires there, the man, or he goes to the Lakers. There's no other
I
option.
feel like those are the two. I feel like that's the only place he would even accept a trade, is to play with LeBron. I don't think he would accept to go to Milwaukee and fight with Giannis. I don't think his legacy is cemented as a top 10 to 12 player all time. Top 10 probably.
Better than Kobe. Sorry guys. I had something in my throat.
I don't disagree with that. I will say the only thing that could save this team from not even they're not going to be great, but to being a 6 or 7 seed, is if Andrew Wiggins somehow got back to what he was 2 to 3 years ago, because he shouldn't be regressing age-wise. He's only 29 years old, and he's been in the NBA for 13 years or whatever. But he's regressed a lot, and he's only 29. So it's that's the only thing that could save them.
He's not going to get better though, and you know it.
No, he's not. But that's the only thing that could save him, is he somehow became 2022 Wiggins again. Or if Kuminga just took a leap to 20 points per game.
We've been waiting for that.
The Bulls offered the Warriors, legit offered them Zach LaVine for Chris Paul's contract and Andrew Wiggins' contract, and they still said no.
That's absurd. Why would they not do that, though? Yeah. That makes them much better. That just gives them a way better Klay Thompson. The Zach LaVine disrespect's gotten out of hand.
It has. I'm gonna say I 1,000% agree.
Zach LaVine is a very good basketball player. He's been playing on a bad team. What do you expect? Put him with good players.
He can shoot the lights out still, and if you put him on a team with Steph Curry, a guy who's going to and coached by Steve Kerr, he's going to have the green light the whole game.
Yep,
he's going to have the green light. It's
100%. And he's still one of the most athletic dudes in the NBA, even with all his injuries. He's still a freak. I saw preseason. We know off-season mixtapes don't tell everything, but they
don't.
No, but they do tell you.
Did.
They do tell you stuff though when it comes to athleticism. And I saw a video of him just middle of a drill, just still between the legs so effortlessly. I'm like, all right, this dude's still a freak athletically.
At Jamal Crawford's camp, I saw that too.
Yeah, he's still a freak athletically. So the disrespect towards Zach LaVine, to where it's I would much rather have him than Bradley Beal.
I agree. I totally agree with that. So yes, we here still are presidents of the Zach LaVine fan club. We feel like he deserves his respect. And I think you guys are just mad because he got a contract way bigger than he should have gotten. He's also mad about that because no one's taking it.
Yeah. So, he probably wishes he signed for $35 a year now.
Yeah. All right. So that ran pretty long. Oh God, Beal and his no trade clause. I forgot about that. Poor Phoenix.
Oh, I forgot he has a no trade clause. Oh God.
Yeah. So, I think Sean and I don't want to speak for you, Sean, but I think we agreed. We both had Reed Shepherd at Rookie of the Year. Parker, are you in the same boat?
Yep.
This one, I just hate all around.
Yep.
Because I don't really like any of them, but I'm gonna bet Reed Shepherd, I guess. I'm not gonna lie. I know he's been awful. Alex Sarr, I don't hate, because they're gonna be so bad that he's gonna play a lot of minutes. I think Alex Sarr could be one of those Rookie of the Years that ends up having a terrible career after that.
Malcolm Brogdon. No, Malcolm Brogdon didn't have a terrible career. That's not fair for me.
No, that was just a bad rookie class. That wasn't his fault. That he averaged 12 and was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, because Embiid played 36 games.
Yeah, Michael Carter-Williams is who came to mind.
Former Chicago Bull, Michael Carter-Williams.
God, he's been a lot of teams for a year.
Sydney asked, what about Edie? I think Edie's going to have the best opportunity to win Rookie of the Year because he's probably going to get the most minutes of any of those guys. Even Reese Shea, like Reese Shea's not going to play over the guys that put their wings above him on the Hawks. Edie's going to start. He's going to be the role guy in the pick and roll with Ja, and that team's going to be good. So I think there's a reason he's the favorite.
Yeah, if he can put up like 12 and 8 on a really good team, he might win it, honestly, this year, because it's just going to be we might see a 10-point per game score Rookie of the Year, like Shepard putting up like 11, 4, and 4 and wins Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. So right now, Wemby is the betting favorite for most improved player. Can I just say one thing about this? And I don't know where your guys' thoughts are.
I think I'm going to agree. I think I know what you're saying, but go ahead.
I'm going to agree too. We'll just say it.
Second-year player should not be winning most improved player.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that. Yep.
And look, I love Wembanyama. Like I don't have a bad thing to say about him as a player. I think he's incredible. I think he's going to have an amazing career. I think he's going to be the next great Spurs big man that wins multiple titles and gets MVPs. But if I'm looking at most improved player, like he should not be on the list right now because one, he was awesome last year. He was second defensive player of the year voting.
Yeah.
He was rookie of the year. Sydney says nor should Ja be in that conversation. Why is Ja getting votes for this? I agree. Like, I look at a guy, and I'm not just going to keep harping his name, but I look at a guy like Evan Mobley. You're seeing like how Kenny Atkinson using him in that offense as the roll man, as a cutter. In transition, he's the fallback guy who's kind of pushing the ball and playmaking. That's a most improved player. Like, that's a guy you should look at and be like, okay, I could see him winning this with this new offense. Or, like a guy like taking a step forward. Look at a guy like, I'm trying to think of an example at the moment. I don't have one at the top of my head.
I got one. I mean, like Jalen Brunson 2 years ago is most improved player.
Yeah.
Been in the league 4 or 5 seasons, was a solid player, a starting level player on a good team, but he was not a superstar by any means. And then bam, superstar. Like Kyle Lowry having a late ascendance in his career from role player to all-star. Like stuff like that is I agree with you. I don't even think third-year players should be on it. I think it should be fourth and up, honestly, because they're supposed to get better. I think it should be people that aren't. Exactly. I think it's stupid too. I completely agree. It's dumb.
Yeah,
it's real dumb.
I'm taking Mobley, but I know Wembanyama's going to win it.
Yeah, he will. He will.
Yeah. I do think also he's the betting favorite for defensive player of the year. I don't have an issue with that. I do think
I don't either.
That damn good defensively. But like Parker said earlier, with Anthony Davis pushing for this like top 5 player in the world thing, this could be the year he does it.
I know.
He should have had one already, or maybe 2. But
I will say,
anyone you guys got for DPOY?
Rudy Gobert, just because he wins it every year, and he probably will win it again. I mean, he's incredible defensively in the regular season. You look at every metric, he's the top of every metric every year, and they've shown pretty much that's how they vote on it. They don't take into consideration, like with Anthony Davis, that his other 4 defenders on the floor suck.
What do you mean? D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves aren't defenders? Rui's not a defender?
LeBron in the regular season? Like, it's just
NBA Cup, though.
I think Rudy Gobert, like, he wins it pretty much every year, so.
I'm gonna with what you guys have said, which I completely agree with. I don't think that it should be a second-year player, but I think Chet's got a really good shot at it. I think this team is going to be awesome. I think they're going to be looking at defenses for the whole. They're going to be right back at the top of the Western Conference, and I could see him doing it again, or getting up there, in year 2. So yeah,
I did want to mention. Bam, I like also for this award a lot because he's definitely the most versatile of those big man defenders, and he can guard the 1 through 5 legitimately. Like, he can step out on a guard and play elite defense on a guard. So I like Bam is probably who I want to win it, but I feel like Gobert just wins it every year as long as he plays enough games and his team defense is at the top of the league. He's gonna win it.
And he's gonna have Julius Randle there shooting, corner shots. So, and I don't know how that's gonna work out, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Once again, Wembanyama probably wins this, but for the sake of conversation, I'm going to say in case he doesn't.
So you think he's going to win most improved and defensive?
I think that he is going to get that trajectory from the media.
Yeah,
if he's
I
on the
agree.
floor for 70 games this year, there's no way he's not walking away with hardware.
No.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And the thing too is like, are his stats really going to be that much better this year? Like in terms of stats, or is he just going to play way more minutes?
Right. I agree. Yeah.
Like,
especially now that they have a point
I
guard.
mean, his stats were pretty damn good last year. He averaged 22 and 12, I think.
Amazing.
So like, are his stats this season going to be that much better, or is he just going to play 36 minutes instead of 30 a night? That's my question.
Yeah, I agree, man. I definitely agree. Like, I love him. Like I said, I just think that we need to calm it down. Like, it's he's gonna have plenty of time to win awards, and he's gonna win a lot of them. All right. So let's see. I don't really care about the clutch
Jeremy
player of the
Sohan.
year.
No, that's such a dumb award.
Look at what
It is.
Sydney said.
No, Jeremy Sohan at point guard helps. That's pretty funny.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the betting odds for six man, but
I'm about to pull him up.
Yeah, I need to pull him up.
It's like Malik Monk is at the top
For these
of the list.
for these player awards, I'll give a like who I think's gonna win, and I'll give a long shot too.
Yeah. Why is Mike Conley on the books? What? He starts.
Are they thinking Dillingham's gonna take his spot at some point? Like, is that the logic behind it? Spencer Dinwiddie's up there. That's crazy.
I know. Malik Monk is the favorite, plus 600. I like that. Dante
Nas Reed.
DiVincenzo, plus 1300.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll tell you what I really like, and I know this is probably gonna sound silly. I think Ben Mathurin is gonna be awesome in the
No, that doesn't sound silly. I like that.
Yeah,
No,
plus 1500 odds. I think he's gonna be awesome. I think he's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Because for this award, six man usually have to be on a decent team too. You can't be on a crap like. Because Jordan Clarkson would be my favorite, honestly, but they're going to be crappy. So
Right. Yeah. Bogdanovich. No.
how many games can you start? Is it like 30? I want to say.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with six man. I'm gonna go with Russell Westbrook. I think he's one of those guys he's going to a good team and he's gonna be there. He's gonna get some run. He will start some games. It will happen.
Yeah, Murray will be out some games for sure.
Yeah, I could see somebody like that. Since he's already a favorite with the media, he's already won MVP. It'd be a cool story, late career, him winning. And if he puts up, 14 and 5 or something, or 8, something like that, I could see him getting it if they're winning.
Agree.
Sydney has the odds for Levert. Levert's plus 1600.
Yeah, that's a nice long shot.
That's a nice long shot. Yeah, it is a nice.
They're kind of all long shots though, because Malik Monk at plus 600 is good ass odds. And I think if Malik Monk is in the running, like right there, like I feel like they might give it to him because he got robbed last year.
Yeah, he did.
He got absolutely robbed. You watch the Kings, Malik Monk runs that second unit. Like, he makes them a good second unit. Nas Reed had a great year. When I think of six man of the year, though, I'm thinking of a point guard running the show in the second unit, to be honest.
I agree with you, man. I definitely do. CJ McCollum is kind of getting six man votes, so I guess he's not going to start this year for New Orleans. I didn't see that, so
that's weird.
That is weird.
Is he not, or do they think he's gonna lose his starting spot at some point?
Maybe. I don't know. So, coach of the year is kind of tricky. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be Tibbs because everyone's excited about the Knicks, so I feel like he's gonna have a chance to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna bet JJ Redick. I think that he's got a shot. Guys, I'm kidding. Relax.
I mean, if they get 50 wins,
yeah,
that's
if it's a new coach who comes in, like a guy who hasn't coached before, and he takes a team that has good players to the second round of the playoffs or something like that. Yeah, he could definitely get it. That's part of that narrative that gets that that done. But
yeah, it would be the narrative is how he would win it. They're not going to be the 1 seed, but they could be the 4.
No, but the teams that usually end up the coach of the year is the guy who gets the team to buy in, who gets them to the playoffs, But yeah, I think Tibbs is Tibbs' year to lose, honestly. So.
I think so. Yeah, I do. I think Nick Nurse is gonna have a really good year if those guys stay healthy in Philly. But the one thing he has to fall back on, thankfully, is he has Tyrese Maxey, who I think is going to be all NBA this year. I really, really like Tyrese Maxey. So, all right. So, Luka Doncic is the favorite to win the MVP at, depending what book you look at. So, DraftKings has him plus 370, FanDuel has him plus 330. Other people getting votes: Nikola Jokic plus 480, Shea plus 410, Giannis and Anthony Edwards plus 800, Jason Tatum plus 1,300, Jalen Brunson plus 1,300, plus 1,200, Joel Embiid, Ja Morant, Victor Wembanyama plus 2,000 to 3,000. So if it's not this year, I don't know if Luka's ever going to win MVP. But I think I might pick Jalen Brunson.
I
love it.
I love that.
What a story that would be, too.
Yeah. What a story that would be. But can the media stop? Wembanyama at plus 2,000 is crazy. It should be like
way high.
Listen to the guys behind him. Embiid is behind him. If Embiid gets to 65 games,
Donovan Mitchell is behind him. Donovan Mitchell's plus 12,000.
Donovan Mitchell, by the way, Chuck ranked him as the 47th best player in the NBA. That is the
worst thing I've ever seen. It's the stupidest.
Anthony Davis and Donovan Mitchell are plus 12,000 and Wembanyama is plus 2,000. They're not going to win 40 games. How is he going to win MVP? I don't care if he puts up 35, 20, and 5 blocks. He probably still won't win it if they win 38 games. Like, seriously.
I agree, dude. I totally agree. Yeah, but I'm with you. Like, again, I love Wembanyama. This is not a Victor Wembanyama hate podcast by any stretch of the matter. It's just he's awesome. He's super fun to watch. We just got to relax a little bit. He still has flaws that he's still going to learn, and he's still going to get better. So let him get better, guys. That team's not making the playoffs because their third best player is Devin Vassell. And I love Devin Vassell. I really love Devin Vassell. But on the Knicks, he'd be like the 4th best option or the 6th best option.
Who's second, you're saying?
Chris Paul.
Johnson? Oh, you say Chris Paul's the second best player? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't hate that.
I don't know if he really is at this point, but
yeah. He's probably their second most impactful for sure.
Yeah.
My pick for
hurt. Yeah.
My pick for this is he has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 7th best odds. First of all, I wanted to mention I'm not taking Luka for MVP because he's been the favorite since his 2nd year in the league.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's enough. Win it before you're the favorite again. Dear God, it's been forever. I think this is legitimately since his 3rd year in the league. He's been the favorite every year. I'm going to go here. I think this is the year Jason Tatum is really going to be in the top 3 for MVP. I just think they're going to be incredible. I think they're going to win 60 games again. Mm-hmm. I think that he's going to put up 28, 9, and 5 to 6 again. And I think seriously, I think the reason he's going to really have a good chance is I think if he can up his efficiency and, be a 50, 40, 90 guy, hovering around that, I think he's going to have a really good shot at winning it. And I'm not saying he's definitely going to win it. These are all prediction bets and stuff. But I think he's definitely going to be more in the conversation this year towards that top 3 instead of the 5th guy on All NBA. I think he'll be more, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 1st guy. I think he's going to be really in the conversation this year.
Yeah, I do too. And I think he's going to want to get revenge for this past summer not playing in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think he's going to carry that chip on his shoulder. So this is going to be really fascinating. I can see that.
Who's your pick, Sean?
I'm actually going to go with the fun pick here, and it makes sense in my brain, and I'm going to go with it. But I'm going with Anthony Edwards.
Nice.
They got rid of Cat. Got rid of that bum Cat. I'm just kidding. He's not a bum at all. I love Cat, but I don't love Cat, but I do like Cat.
I was about to say you're one of the few Cat lovers.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Cat lover.
As you see behind him, they're running around the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think he was incredible in the playoffs last year. I think at least at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to just create so much damage this year. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he's doing the right things. We saw the rise of an absolute superstar at the beginning of the playoffs last year. This is the beginning of the story of Anthony Davis or Anthony Edwards. Sorry, not Anthony Davis. His story's gone on so long. No, but I think with Randall being there, I think Randall's going to be fine. He'll be fine there. But like, I think Anthony Edwards is going to be able to just cook. He's going to be able to absolutely cook this next season. And I liked their draft they had this year too. So I think they drafted well. I think they're just going to have a really good team. And I'm picking him, man. I think this is the kind of, he's set up, I feel like, the best to have like a jump ahead year. He jumped ahead a lot last year. They got rid of a player, and I think he's going to have a lot of room to operate right now. So that's why I'm going with Ant-Man.
The only concern I have with that, because I'm not going to lie, I like that bet a lot better when Cat was on the roster. What scares me with this is spacing on the floor sometimes. I feel like his efficiency might dip a little bit because he's going to probably have to take a few more, late shot clock contested fadeaways because, Randall can't shoot. Randall.
No, but I mean, I think about the experience he had this summer, things like that. I think being around some greatness over that time, I think is going to help him. I think he's just going to be better. I think he's going to take another jump. And I agree with you on the efficiency part there, but he's going to have to shoot. He's going to take some dumb shots. But he's going to be better.
Yeah, I'll just say, that just scares me because the modern day voter cares so much about the analytics and stuff. He's going to have to get that efficiency up a little bit. He hovers around like 45 from the field, 35 from three. What do you think, Tim? Like, he'd have to shoot from the field to probably win MVP. He'd have to probably be like 38 and 48 or something. Like, it would have to be a better efficiency.
47, 37, probably 90% from the line.
Yeah.
About 27, 28 a game with about 5 rebounds.
Do you like any long shots on it?
I mean, yeah, I already said it, but
what'd you say? Who am I missing?
I do like the Mitchell bet. I really think they're really good.
I like that too. I like Booker and Anthony Davis as sleepers for it too. And honestly, I like Joel Embiid at plus 2,400. I don't know how many back-to-backs they have on the season before saying this, but if he can get to 65 games, he's going to be in the race for it. He's going to average 34 points a game. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. Like Sydney says in the chat. So she also she says she put money on Donovan Mitchell and MVP, and she's betting on the Cavs to be the 1 seed. I definitely think that's possible.
I agree
with that group of 4 guys. I think the regular season
12,000.
Yeah, I think the regular season are going to be awesome. It's just, once again, how do they figure out how to play those 4 guys together when they have to win 4 out of 7 is what this kind of the thing they're trying to figure out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 2 more things because now it's a thing, so we have to talk about it. NBA Cup. I'm picking. Hear me out, guys. I'm picking the Denver Nuggets win the NBA Cup at plus 1,500.
I was about to say, do the Lakers go back to back?
That's all they got. Hey, you can win titles all you want, but NBA Cups where you get to put 500,000 in your pocket, I mean, what do you really want in the end?
I'm about to look up the odds for this.
So top odds right now, the Celtics plus 525. They're not going to care. The Thunder plus 800. I don't think they're going to care either. The Knicks and Sixers at 1,000, Minnesota at 1,100, Milwaukee at 1,300, Denver at 1,500, Dallas at 1,800, Phoenix and Cleveland at plus 2,000. I would love to say that I think the Lakers will win it again because it'd be funny. It
would be really funny if they won it again. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So I am saying a Denver Nuggets Cleveland Cavalier final. The Denver Nuggets.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. This is tough.
It's such a weird thing to be.
It's yeah. I mean,
there's nothing to base it off of.
I'm going Kings Sixers. That's what I'm gonna do.
I like that. That would be so fun.
I like that. Yeah. Those are teams that like probably will care a little bit about it.
That's why I picked them. I think the Kings especially. I think that's like a team that's gonna just play their butts off so they have something to show for the season.
I mean, hell, what have the Sixers done since the 80s? Seriously, they haven't done shit either. They made the
2001,
finals.
baby.
A horrible Sixers team made the team because
City's picking the Bulls to win the NBA Cup. All right. Never bet on the Bulls to win anything. That's
Sydney,
life advice number one from Tim.
Sydney, I'm going to be betting against them the entire season just so they have a high draft pick. They'll never get better without a better draft pick.
For me, this is not I don't think you guys are gonna like this pick, but I just think this guy just gives a shit about every game, and his running mate has never won anything either. Well, the guy has won something, but his running mates, I think the Bucks might win this. Because Giannis plays hard. It doesn't matter if it's preseason. He plays his ass off no matter what. We all know that. And he always gets out of the gate playing well. I think if Giannis plays all these games, like, they could definitely win it. And I don't really want to take a favorite here because I don't think any of those teams are really going to give. Like, the Thunder probably will give a shit, but, like, it for some reason, it feels like the worst teams have an advantage in season. Like, I don't know, not bad teams, but like those like 5 to 6 seed type teams.
Yeah, like the Pacers who went to the
finals and the Lakers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's just one game. Like that's why the Lakers, I think, what is because you could trust LeBron and Anthony Davis to win you one game if you just got to win one.
Oh,
it's like
hell yeah. Why do you think they just won gold?
Yeah, 2 of their best 4 players were Lakers. That's crazy to even say, but.
And they had to win 6 games in 2 weeks. That's chump change for those guys.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing before we get out of here. Your NBA championship winner. These are the FanDuel odds right now. Celtics are the favorite, obviously, plus 310. Thunder, plus 650. Knicks, plus 750. At 1,000, Philadelphia, Minnesota. Denver at 1,100. Dallas, 1,100. Milwaukee, 1,400. Phoenix, 2,000. Memphis 3,400, Orlando, Cleveland, and the Lakers at 4,000, Golden State at 4,500, and then rounding this out, Miami, Indiana, and New Orleans at 5,000 each. All right, these are the odds. So I don't know how much I trust myself with this pick. Because...
Are we gonna go winner and runner up?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how much I trust myself with this pick because with this franchise, something's destined to go wrong because it always does. But I'm taking the Knicks to win the title. Ooh. I really think that if this works out, if they're able to run the offense the way that they want to, running the spread 5 out with Kratz in the corner, and then Brunson has got all that extra room in the paint to drive and dish and do what he needs to do, and you can bring over OG Anunoby to run those high screen pick and rolls, they can practically be unstoppable.
I love them on paper. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And then my long shot bet is Minnesota. I really think that Minnesota's going to be really, really awesome, even without Cat. I'm not picking a Knicks Timberwolves finals. Oh, that would be hilarious because they're already chirping.
Yeah.
But I think that this Knicks team's going to be really, really good. And then I think Minnesota, if Anthony Edwards does continue to emerge and do what we expect him to do, and having that vet leader like Mike Conley, I think they're going to be really, really good.
I'll say I completely agree with you, Sydney. I was just looking at the odds. At plus 5,000, I wouldn't take them to win it, but like if you gave like plus 3,000 just to like make the finals, I don't hate that. I really don't have like at crazy odds because I mean, like you said, we didn't see it unleashed last year. I think they would have taken a few games from the Celtics if you played. I think it would have ended up being a series.
Absolutely.
Like it makes no sense, no logic whatsoever. But for some reason, he turns into a top 3 player in the league when the season's on the line.
He's hitting threes and he's.
It's literally that's pretty much the difference. He just hits threes. It's like you're caught off guard by it. He hits threes and he starts dunking. I don't know. But I do like that. That would be my long shot. For who I actually think is going to win it, first of all, bet I hate the most is the Sixers having the 5th best odds. I just don't see it happening. But they've never gotten out of the second round in this era. But I will say this. My favorite who I do think is going to win it, it's tough. I don't love any of these. So give me the Celtics. I know it's a lame pick, but like I don't like any of the other teams to win it, truthfully. I don't think the Thunder are ready yet. I just don't. I think they might get an extra round this year, but I don't think they're ready. Oh, actually, sorry. For some reason, that was my bad. I was looking at NBA Cup odds. My bad. The reason I didn't take this team is because they were so far down, and I forgot about them. Give me the Nuggets to win the finals this year. Give me the Nuggets. Sorry. I was looking at the NBA Cup, and they were all the way down, so I was like, "Do the Nuggets not exist?"
I was like, Parker, why are you beating around the bush about this? Why aren't you going to go with the Nuggets? And that's who I'm going with the Nuggets on that as well. I think that they're. I think last year they just had a bad matchup. They're going to be pissed off. They're a great team. They're well equipped to win several titles. I will say this:
they're still young, decently young.
I really hope the Knicks make it to the NBA Finals. I think that would be. I just want to see a Knicks Celtics conference finals. Like, how ugly is that going to get? It's going to get so fun. I'm going to love it.
And the thing is, I think they'll bully the Celtics in terms of physicality.
I mean,
not in terms of winning games, but they'll bully Tatum and Brown. Tatum.
The defense is going to be phenomenal. Like they're just going to do so many good things this year. I do think the Celtics are going to make it back to the finals again. But I really think the Nuggets. I think they'll wipe the floor with them.
I don't agree they'll wipe the floor, but I do think they'll win it. I think they would win in 7 probably.
I'm gonna go.
I couldn't disagree more.
I'm gonna say in 6.
What I couldn't disagree that the Nuggets could win it, or that they would beat the Celtics.
I don't think they'll win it.
I don't hate that.
I just think that I don't trust Jamal Murray. I don't trust Jamal Murray at all. I think that he was awful. Really, really awful in the Olympics. He was really awful.
The KCP loss was huge. I didn't want to pick the Celtics.
It was.
I like the Westbrook get. I know a lot of people are criticizing it, but I do like them getting him. But I don't love Christian Brown the way the world does right now, and I could be wrong.
Especially for 30 minutes a game.
Yeah. So I think they're very good. I think they're going to have home court advantage, and that matters.
If they win it, it's Jokic. If they win it, it's Nikola Jokic just being way better than everyone else. That's how they win it.
Well, and they're also, I would say that.
Just have them play the Lakers, though. If they play the Lakers every series, they'll be back in the final. Because all their role players become the best player in the world when they play the Lakers.
I think they're also equipped to make a trade if they really needed to. I don't think Jamal Murray is going to be there forever. I mean, Nikola Jokic is going to be there. Is he going to be his running mate forever? No. Does he have trade value? Yes. Let's say he does have another off year and they're like, we have the greatest player in the league right now. I mean, if you're an aggressive GM, I'd move his ass. I would. We talked about this. What the Golden State Warriors have done with Steph and what the Lakers have done with LeBron, they have wasted years with them. Absolutely. And if you actually know what the hell you're doing with a franchise, and Jokic he's the best player in the league right now. I didn't say he's my favorite player. He's the best player.
I agree.
Yeah, he is the best player. If Jamal Murray starts fucking up, doesn't provide that I mean, he hasn't made an All-Star team yet, right?
He's never had a good regular season, really.
Yeah. So you look at someone like that. He does have value, though. We can agree on that, right? There's somebody who would want Jamal Murray, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys were really slow on that one. You were like, I don't know, maybe.
I was reading Sydney's comment real quick. I apologize.
Okay. But I think they could move his ass, and they've got other trade pieces too as well. If something, I could see them moving on from Aaron Gordon or something if he has a drop off. I mean, there's a lot of options with that team. They have options. They're not painted in a corner like the Lakers or Golden State.
Yeah, I definitely.
Golden State even has more options than the Lakers. They at least have Kuminga to trade.
Yeah,
true.
Should have traded him 2 years ago, but
Yeah, he agrees.
Yeah.
All right, dudes. Well, hey, this was fun. I'm so happy we got the 3 of us back together for a show. It's been too long since the semifinals of the Olympics. It's been that long. Woo. So we'll be back doing our thing. during the year talking about the league and what all. Please be sure to check everything out. Be sure to check everything out on the riverfront. But yeah, this is going to be fun. So on behalf of Parker and Sean, this is Tim, Daniel. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.